Good morning, student. Today we are going to learn our next point of this our chapter transmission system, and we are going to learn a propeller shaft. What is propeller shaft? What is the function of propeller shaft? And what are the different types of propeller shaft? As well as we are going to learn what is universal joint and how it performs, how it works, as well as different types of universal joints we are going to see. And after that we are going to learn a maintenance of propeller shaft as well as universal joint. Okay. And and the next part we are going to learn what is a differential and its type. But before going to start propeller shaft or universal joint, we will see what we have learned during the last lecture. During the last lecture we have learned what is tube tire, what is tubeless tire, what is the shape of the tire or aspect ratio, what is tire ply, and what are the different classification of tires based on these plies, and tire treads, that is a directional, non-directional, symmetric, asymmetric, and as well as what is the influence of air pressure or inclination pressure on the working of the wheel or performance of the wheel we have seen, and also the maintenance of the tire. Okay. In we have seen the tubeless tire, it is deflate slowly, the soft lining material has a self-sealing effect, as well as for temporary puncture repair is possible. In case of tubeless tire, a rubber plug can be used to stop the hole air moving, as well as we have seen the aspect ratio, the ratio of section height to the section width, and how to designate the tire. Okay, the specification of tire, the first number is width of the tire slash second number is aspect ratio, and the next is the ply construction, and the last value is the radius diameter of the rim. Okay, and we have seen that the wider car tires are required for better grip, and after the innovations or as the time passes, there is need for improvement in the car design as increasing speed, and we need a better grip, and it is observed that the aspect ratio should be minimized because we require wider car tires. Okay, the width required is more, that's why the aspect ratio has dropped from 90% to 85% to 70%, and for racing car it is about 35% to 45%. We have all these discussed in the last lecture. We have seen tire plies, we have seen also the three types: cross ply, bias construction. These are the plies, first, second, and these are placed over one another in cross direction. And the bias belt construction, the same cross ply, only the belt ply is added. Okay, and the radial ply construction, the ply are starting from bead to bead. Here the ply is placed one over the another at the bead, and as well as belt stabilizer is used. We have seen the advantages of this ply tire over other two tires. We have also seen the tire tread pattern, the importance of tire tread pattern, the directional, non-directional, symmetrical, and asymmetrical. In asymmetrical, in all these different tread patterns combinations are there. Okay, the straight treads, when the vehicle is moving straight, the directional tread patterns are used. When the vehicle is on the curve motion, at that time the non-directional treads are in active position, as well as when there is a rainy season or wet road surface, at that time the water should not move, or it should be go away from the tire, and that is taken by the channels which is provided on this asymmetrical pattern. Okay, we have all discussed this, as well as in difference, what is the advantage, sorry, what is the disadvantage of under infiltration pressure, and what is the disadvantage of over infiltration pressure. Both are not required for the safety of the driver and vehicle. And we have to also see then how to rotate the tire wheel. Okay, there are 4 methods of tire rotations we have discussed, as well as what will be the wear pattern, what are the causes of that wear or the defects on the tire, and what will be the corrections made by the automobile engineer or a mechanical engineer. Okay, now we go for our today's lecture. Is propeller shaft. Today we are going to learn propeller shaft. In earlier cars, just first we see here the power is from gear box, and that is transferred to the rear axle through the differential. This is the input of a differential gearbox pinion. Okay, so first understand the history of the propeller shaft. Previously, in earlier cars, were an improvement over the horse-driven carriages. They also had features derived from early bicycle, tricycles. That was the method of power transmission. They have used the chain drive to transmit the power from the engine to the wheel, but this power transmission is having problems. They are very noisy, continuous maintenance are required, heavy and cumbersome. Okay, that's why there is need to develop a transmission which is reliable, and for that purpose a Lanchester brothers of Britain had patented the propeller shaft transmission in 1887, but the Louis Renault of France perfectly use a system, or we can say that he is the pioneer in power transmission from engine to rear axle. Okay, and we can observe that there are about 1887 to 1899. This much time has gone for the development of this propeller shaft, and this Renault has not only used the shaft to transmit the drive from the engine to the rear wheel, but also incorporated universal joint that we are also going to learn today. It allows the movement of the rear suspension, and he did this because he was using a live rear axle which he had already patented. Okay, means he has taken a patent on these 3 things: rear axle, then propeller shaft, and universal joints. Okay, means using these systems. So the Lanchester Renault system of propeller shaft, universal joint, and rear axles are almost universally being used in cars and trucks. Somewhat modifications to this date also. Okay, so first we will see the requirement of the propeller shaft. Okay, first it should transmit the power from gearbox to the differential without changing the speed. Because what's happened when there are irregular roads and the axis of the gearbox and the propeller shaft is not in same linear form, and also the axis between propeller shaft and differential gearbox input pinion is also not same. This is because the rear axle is moving up and down. Just we will see the you will observe that uh, the propeller shaft transmit power from gearbox to differential or rear axle, okay, and it should transmit the power without changing the speed. There will be the change in the speed of the driver and driven because due to irregularities of the axis of engine and propeller shaft is not these angularities are taken care by universal joints, okay, so that they will be remain in angular positions that will not affect on the transmission of the power. This for that purpose in propeller shaft we are using universal joint. But in case of there will be one more arrangement. You will observe that the position of the gearbox axis and the rear axle, this horizontal distance will remain same. It will not change, okay. For that purpose there is only possibility that we can change the angular distance of the propeller shaft, and to adjust this length of the propeller shaft or angular distance, both end of the propeller shaft their splines are provided or slip joints are provided. Just we will see the slip here. You will see the slip joint at one end so that the length or angular position of the propeller shaft is adjusted, okay, because of this rear axle or differentials up and down movement. Now see the function of propeller shaft. Here it has to receive the power from the gearbox output shaft without change in speed. We can transmit it to the input of pinion of differential onwards to the rear axle and rear wheels, and it has to also cope up with the difference in line and level of the gearbox output shaft, as already I have shown and discussed. And in the construction, the second type of this function is achieved due to this construction. The propeller shafts have to bear driving and braking torques, and when a front engine rear drive can start from the rest or suddenly brake to slow down, then the shock of the transmission is cushioned by this long propeller shaft which twists slightly and then untwists. Okay, this is the important construction of the propeller shaft, so that the design of propeller shaft is very complex. Okay, I think what I have covered in this small video, I have covered why there is a need of propeller shaft, what is the history of propeller shaft, what is the function of propeller shaft, and how the